Kell Brook is straight on some nut shit after losing to Errol Spence. Sounds like he got drunk on the flight with a mate, his boy, and they was causing so much ruckus on a easy flight from Liverpool to Barcelona, Spain, that he had to get quizzed by the police according to Boxing Scene. I'll leave the link in the description. This your boy CJ Goodfellow. We back with that real boxing ish real quick with the boxing clinic. Let's enter that talk. And apparently, like, Kell Brook really took this loss hard to Errol Spence. We know what he said about after the fight. We talked about that video. You know how he mummed retirement with his parents, and how he's going to overhaul whatever he wanted to overhaul. I guess lifestyle changes. I don't know if he meant getting a new trainer or Dominic Wade or whatever the case may be. He said he's gonna make some major changes to his team. And apparently a few weeks after the Kell Brook fight, he got on an easy jet flight or whatever it's called. Got fucking shit faced. Got drunk with his boy, and was causing all type of ruckus. They said his mate he was with, his boy, was even throwing shit around the plane, and everybody was getting very annoyed. And said even Kell Brook was caught smoking in the bathroom. So police quizzed him, and now this is just breaking out in the news for whatever reason. And he really took that loss hard to Errol Spence. I really thought that he believed he had a chance to win the fight, and I think he believed he had a chance to win the fight. And I think he was very confident going to the fight. And when he didn't win the fight and he got knocked out 2 times in a row, I think it was very detrimental to his mentally. And he said it was very hard physically on him. And I think this is just him trying to, forget about the shit, get away from it. A lot of people choose to have different vices to how they deal with stress. Apparently some people work out, and apparently he works out a lot, right? And so he's going to choose an alternative. Some people smoke weed. Some people get drunk. Some people might, just, go watch a movie, have some incense going, some therapeutic candles. A lot of people do a lot of different things, get a massage, the list goes on. It's just, he chose to, get drunk and do it publicly, which wasn't a good idea. And when he got drunk publicly, and then he started doing shit like throwing shit on the plane, smoking in the bathroom, doing shit that you're not supposed to do, then it raises, cause for concern, in my opinion. And I think he needs some help. I think, he need to talk to somebody about losing a sports psychiatrist, losing to Errol Spence. And it was nothing to hang your hat on. He gonna, look down the road 5, 6, 10 years from now, and if Errol Spence goes on to be a great fighter in the same breath as a Pacquiao, Mayweather, Cotto, Sugar Ray Leonard, Sugar Ray Robinson, somewhere as an all-time great from 1 to 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, I think Kell Brook is going to be able to look back and say, hey, I have nothing to hold my head over. This dude was just a better fighter. And I think he was very devastated losing to Golovkin, then losing to Errol Spence, and then thinking about retirement. I think it's scary not to know your future. And I think that's what he was going through. It was just a tough time. He was trying to cope with it. Hopefully he could put it behind him. And, when you're struggling to make weight, or trying to squeeze down to make weight, and he's been trying to squeeze down to 147 for quite some time, because, one of my boys told me he was a big 147. He should naturally been a 154 pounder, for a long time now. And, we doing that, and you drinking, in between fights. Apparently he was smoking and drinking. You just don't start doing that one day. He been doing it. And, it's going to be hard on your body to get it in shape. A lot of these guys don't take care of their body. They smoking, drinking in between fights now. And it's been like that for quite some time in the sport of boxing. A lot of different boxers had different, vices and drinking and smoking. But when you really need to squeeze down to make weight, and you really in competitive, tough fights, that shit come back to haunt you. I told y'all that shit about Adrian Broner. You can't be drinking, smoking, and doing shit between fights. You got to live a clean lifestyle when you're an athlete, especially when you want to last in the sport. All that drinking and smoking and blowing up between fights, gaining 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds in between fights, that shit catch up with you. And definitely Kell Brook got an issue, with that. And you need to clean that shit up. And, when you go to 154, and just start off new. Start off, eating right, not doing drugs or doing alcohol or whatever the fuck he doing. He need to clean that shit up if he wants to get that edge. because he's already got 2 fucking broken facial bones. You know, his body is already fucking, you know, breaking down from trying to squeeze down to that weight. And when you're putting strain on your body, yes, you are crippling your body. Every time you straining down and starving yourself to make weight, you weakening your body, you weakening your bones, all that shit. So hopefully at 154 he feels a little bit more comfortable. He said he want to continue to fight, and hopefully he get past this little bullshit he going through without having to pay a large fine or do any jail time. But it is what it is, man. You know, chances make champions, and